What is up, guys? It's Higgins in Japan here on a Friday, headed home from work, and it's about that time. It's time for another Friday video with Higgins in Japan. So let's get going. Alright, guys, so to start things off with, I need to say one thing. I need to thank you guys for all the questions and comments that I've been getting over the past month or so. Traffic on my channel has been picking up, and thanks. That's thanks to you guys. I mean, it's also thanks to me because I make the videos, but you guys are the reasons why I make the videos. And I have currently 400 videos uploaded on YouTube, which is crazy. To think that a channel that was started back in like 2006 that had 0 subscribers and nobody giving a crap about like what I was doing, mostly because it was just like random stuff, and then, you know, uploading random stuff from when I was in college, and then, you know, here I am today, Higgins in Japan. So whatever. So thank you for that. Secondly, I'm gonna have to apologize because this video is gonna go in a direction that I don't want it to go in at first, but if you stick around to the very end, if you make it through the whole video without, you know, throwing up, then props to you. But I want to talk about something that's kind of been annoying me, and these longer videos on Friday, that's kind of what they're for, right? They're for me to talk about what's going on in my life in Japan, and all that kind of good stuff. So as I drive home, I want to talk about a certain subject and a certain topic, and it will get to a point. It won't just be me randomly rambling about nothing. There will be a point to it. So that being said, holy cow, there's a guy here in Japan, and I hesitate using his name, and I hesitate mentioning this at all because the last thing I want to do is just give more attention to his. So I need to preface this by saying that this person I've never met in person, so I'm not attacking their character. I'm going to try to stay away from that as much as possible because honestly, I don't know this person in person. Like, I've never met this person. But what I am doing is I'm attacking the character that they are, which there's a difference. I'm not insulting the person, I'm insulting the character that this person portrays, and you'll understand why. So there's a guy here in Japan, and if you watch Japanese TV at all, you might know him. If you're a teacher, then by all means that you don't know him, but you know his stupid catchphrase. I'm talking about Atsuguri Jason, and the character of him that he portrays on television. And if you don't know who he is, he basically, from the very limited exposure that I have exposed myself to of him, he goes on television and in his bootleg Sam Kinison impression, yells his catchphrase. Give me a second, because this just makes my stomach turn. He yells into the camera, "Why Japanese people?" Now, if you're a teacher in Japan, you've probably heard your students yell this and tried to get you to say it. If you say it, you're a sellout. Let's just throw that out there. I don't like this character because here's what it does. The character of Atsuguri Jason, which he's an American guy, so that's not his real name probably. It's probably something Jason, but it probably doesn't rhyme with whatever. Anyways, he's an American, and what he does is he goes on television and portrays a stereotype of Americans that are being loud and obnoxious, and he calls it comedy. Now, I don't think it's funny, and it's definitely not original because he's not the first person of his type to come on television and to quote-unquote represent their culture on television, on Japanese television. I've seen stereotypical black people on television in Japan. I've seen stereotypical, fill in the blank. He's not the first, he's not original, and he's not, he's a one-trick pony. He's, got his one catchphrase, and beyond that, whatever. But the problem is, and I've talked about this before, whether or not you like it, in Japan, you are judged by what people think, or what people think they know about your culture. And so if a Japanese person, for example, runs into an American person and they're loud and they're obnoxious and, X, Y, and Z, the next time they meet an American person, they're going to assume that X, Y, and Z is true of that American person that they meet. Because in Japan, whether you like it or not, you represent your country. You kind of represent your culture. And so your actions are judged based on that. And now, I will say, I have met people that have a certain expectation of how they think Americans will act. And I use the example of Americans because I'm an American, and so it makes sense for me to use that example. I'm not going to try to claim ownership of any other culture. So I have met people that have certain things, or have certain predetermined things in their mind that they think that I should be acting like. And when I don't, they go, oh, okay, wow, that's different. And as you get to know somebody over time, you realize that that person is an individual. And so it takes time. And that's the way it is here in Japan. You will meet people that are going to judge you based on what they already know of people like you. And now, if you just have very surface level relationships with people here in Japan, you're going to see this a lot, and you're going to complain about it, and you're going to make vlogs about it, and you're going to go on YouTube, and you're going to go on Twitter and make comments about how all the people that you meet in Japan are racist and don't understand you. The thing is, you have to get to know people, and that's kind of a universal thing. You can assume that you know someone based on things that you've already learned about them, or learned about people like them. You can go into meeting someone, it doesn't matter where you live, and go, oh, well, I've met a whatever person before, they're probably going to act like this. And in some cases, yeah, it's true. But you also have to realize that people are individuals, and so, it takes time. You got to get to know people. And so if you don't get to know people, if you don't take that time, then you're only going to have surface level relationships and a surface level idea of how you think people act. And so this guy, he's a comedian, and he goes on television and portrays the image of a loud, obnoxious American. And he has his catchphrase. And what he does is he draws kanji on the board, on a whiteboard, and he gets all excited and worked up because this character means this, but if you add one little thing, it changes the meaning of it. And why, Japanese people? Why? Well, first off, kanji's not Japanese. Kanji comes from China. So let's just... Your comedy has already broken down at that point, and it's not funny. And I don't like that type of comedy anyways. I like comedy that makes you think and go, that was funny, but it was funny on a multiple level, not just because you're ripping off Sam Kinison and just yelling. Like, that's not funny to me, and that's me. Maybe you can turn on Japanese television and you can watch him and you can go, that's funny because he's making fun of Japanese people because their letters come from kanji, which is Chinese, and it doesn't make any sense anyways. So I say all of that to say this. I don't like that character. And who knows, maybe this dude's a decent guy and whatever, but he's making money off of being a stereotype, and that annoys me. Sure, maybe I'm jealous a little bit because he's famous and I'm not. You could say that. But honestly, I wouldn't want to be famous because I'm on Japanese television being a stereotype. Like, sure, it'd be awesome to be on Japanese television. It's not going to happen anytime soon. But I don't want it to be because I'm a stereotype, and I don't want it to be because I'm not funny, because I'm funny on a level that's not like, I try not to go for the easy joke, you know? The easy joke for me is too easy. So, that being said, here is the point that I'm trying to make. I'm taking Why Japanese People back. And on Fridays, I'm going to ask the question, why Japanese people? But I'm going to ask it for legit reasons, not because I don't understand how language works. I'm asking it for legit reasons. So, today is the first day that we take Why Japanese People back. I got really worked up there for a second. Breathe, relax. I don't like him. Anyways, we're bringing it back. Fridays. It's still going to be the Friday video thing, but I'm going to have a segment, if I can remember, to do a Why Japanese People. And this week's the first week we're starting it off, and this weekend it's important to ask the question, why Japanese people? Why do you put a heater in a room during winter time and not use it? If you're a teacher, you feel my pain. If you work in an office where the room is not, centrally heated or centrally air conditioned, you're feeling my pain. It's the end of November, it's almost December, and we've started putting stoves, like the big kerosene stoves. They call them stoves here in Japan. Big kerosene heaters. They put them in the classrooms and don't use them. And here's the thing that I don't understand is, I understand, I'm all about conservation. I understand that we don't want to, be, blasting heat full blast the whole time, and, I'm all about, conservation. That's cool. But here's another thing that's a thing here in Japan, is that if you're looking for an apartment, it'll list on the features hey, this is a south-facing apartment, which is what you want, because you want the most sun exposure to your house, because most Japanese apartments, most houses don't have a dryer. You only get a washing machine. So you want to be able to dry your clothes quickly. So if you have a south-facing apartment, you'll be able to dry your clothes outside much quicker. Now, the same is with my school. It is a south-facing school. The teacher's office faces south. So there's a lot of sunlight that enters into the classrooms and the teacher's office, but they keep the curtains closed. So we have no heat, we have no light coming in, and we have, all the fluorescent lights on in the world. And I'm asking, because I don't understand, why don't we turn off the lights, saves electricity, open up the curtains, saves on heat, because all that natural sunlight, it's lighting the place and it's heating it up. I don't know. Maybe I'm just confused. I'm confused about a lot of things, but this one confuses me, and I've not been able to find an answer. So, after 13 minutes of me yelling in my car and looking like a madman, what can you take away from this video? Atsugoody Jason is a terrible person. Well, he's a terrible character. I said I was not going to attack his person. He's a character. I'm attacking his character. He's a terrible character because he plays off stereotypes and gets paid for it. There's a word for that, but I'm not comfortable using it. And the second thing is, I'm taking it back. It's mine now, and Why Japanese People is now mine. And we're going to ask serious questions about things in Japan and maybe get some answers. And also take away from the fact that it's cold in Japan and nobody uses heat. So, guys, I really appreciate it if you made it all the way through. If you made it all the way through this video, let me know in the comment section below with hey, I made it all the way through, give me some candy or something. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to give you anything. But I really do appreciate it if you stuck all the way through this video. I am now home, where I'm going to go inside, and I'm going to turn on my heater. Have a good one, guys. Peace.